lot of studies, and it might be just specific to vaccine studies, but I noticed a lot of studies are starting to do eDiaries. And these eDiaries are questionnaires that are prompted for the participant to complete related to symptoms that they are exhibiting or not exhibiting while they are on the study. Sometimes you also have some quality of life questionnaires, activity questionnaires. So what's your physical activity since you've started a medication? So it's just a lot of things that can be included in an eDiary. But the importance of an eDiary is making sure your participant adheres to the expectation of completing the eDiary. Because if those questionnaires go unanswered, then the sponsor is not able to analyze that data. And sometimes questionnaires are linked to the endpoints. And so endpoints are basically the overall information that the sponsor is trying to derive based on their study design. So it's important for participants to adhere to eDiary compliance, and it's even more important for you to actually be checking. So whatever system is used and whatever your responsibility as site staff, whether that is to look at the system once a day, twice a day, only when a participant comes in, once a week, twice a week, or when that participant comes in, make sure you adhere to that as well, and also have the proper documentation. Because just saying you looked into the system is not really sufficient. So if that system allows you to run reports, or you can screenshot that participant report on the system and print it and place it in the participant's chart, that shows great, we said good clinical practice, but that shows great clinical practice, because it lets the monitor see or an auditor see that you are doing your part. And on the same time, it is the auditor's responsibility, or the CRA's responsibility, to spot check that information as well. If they don't have access, like the sites that do a report, you can't see a physical report, well, you should also have access to that vendor to ensure that compliance is documented appropriately. And when that patient falls below that threshold, or the overall rating of the site falls below the threshold, you need to make sure that the site are re-educated and shows documentation of re-educating that participant. And you need to show when the site overall has gone below the threshold, compliance threshold, that you completed re-education and you document that re-education. It's one thing to have a discussion with the PI and the site staff, but if that discussion is not documented via your report or re-education on a training log, you don't really have proof that you did that documentation. And you also want to assess the progression. So, in a month, did compliance improve? Or at your next visit, did compliance improve? Or did it even stay the same or decrease? So when you create an issue like that about compliance, you don't want to just create the issue and say, I re-educated the site. You want to have in your upcoming visit, if your re-education has had any impact on compliance. So did you notice an increase? Did they go from 70 to 75, or 75 to 80, or 80 to 90 now? You want to demonstrate that that site status in your upcoming reports, at least until they get back into what's called acceptable compliance. Now, once they get into acceptable compliance, you can do your typical documentation, and again, if they go below compliance, you start that cycle all over again. So I just wanted to point that out, the importance of re-education when there isn't a compliance issue, the importance of documenting that re-education, and the importance of assessing the patient's participants or the site's progress.